Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Straight to the Apex Formula One podcast. Join Tony, Mark and James as they discuss upcoming races, previous races. There's almost definitely going to be a quiz. Basically, this is one jam-packed Formula One podcast because it's got everything you need to enjoy Formula One. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Drop us any reviews you want to and get these podcasts out into the world. Right, let's get cracking. So here we go. This is CookieCast, Straight to the Apex.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello. Again, this is episode 13 now, Straight to the Apex. Unlucky for some. Unfortunately, it's not unlucky for Max Verstappen, but one day our day will come. I'm in the driving seat this week, James Stainforth. Alongside me on the pit wall, we've got Mark Wilkin.
Hello.
And somewhere here, we've got Tony T-Dog. I was born ready, and yet I'm still 9 minutes late, Rawson.
Yo.
That is the most anticlimactic entrance I've ever seen.
I've got something special lined up, boys. Start recording. And then he did exactly the same what he normally does.
Yeah, he just sat down and yeah.
Wow.
I do. I've got a present for you, Mark. It's just I've brought it with me. I found it.
He found the trophy.
No, it's another present.
Okay.
Let me just get it for you.
Okay.
This better be a middle finger or something. Yeah, it is.
Oh, how predictable. Where's the trophy?
I'm joking.
You actually got a present?
Joking. Yeah, it's here. Look.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie. I did start getting ever so slightly jealous, and I'm like, "Why is Mark getting a present?"
I want my trophy.
Yeah, I want a present. Go on, Tony. Give me the finger, please.
I want.
Whoa!
Whoa! Going down that road.
Maybe for my birthday. Buy you a drink.
Anyway,
as always, guys. Massive thanks to Andy and the guys at CookieCast for letting us keep streaming with them and stuff like that, and hopefully we're not putting them at risk with some of the content that we have, because let's face it, it's not always Formula One related, but
no.
Yeah, it's us, and if it weren't us, I don't know what you'd be listening to now. You're probably just sitting there with earphones and just thinking, why am I listening to nothing? This is just an absolute waste of my time, but hey ho. So, the French Grand Prix. So, obviously, we've got quali, we've got practice, no sprint race or anything, but a couple of little bits of breaking news and stuff like that. There was Lewis Hamilton's 300th Grand Prix start, which is, there's only a small handful of people who can actually say they've done 300 races, which is a massive achievement. And another bloody milestone for Lewis, which I think he's probably running out of them now. But yeah, what about you guys? You got any news or?
Well, I've seen something tonight that's related to the race. I don't want to give too much away, but our favourite team principal, Mr. Horner, is looking.
Horner's Corner.
Horner's Corner already. He's looking at basically blaming George Russell and seeing if the FIA can do something for his overtake on Perez after the virtual safety car in the race.
Why?
Well, it was very naughty what he did. Very naughty.
Oh, because it didn't go in Perez's favour.
George
Russell was the
Perez,
kind of guy that will catch you sleeping at the end of a virtual safety car.
Yeah.
Love that post.
But
have you seen some of them posts?
I've seen some of them what?
Some of the posts that have been going on Twitter, that there was this whole kind of George Russell is the kind of guy, and then everyone had just put their own little thing.
No.
Oh, there's been loads out there. So there was like Daniel Ricciardo did George Russell is the kind of guy who has two first names for his full name. What was it? George Russell is the kind of guy who will catch you asleep at the end of a virtual safety car. Norris had one as well. I can't remember what Norris's was.
But what was Bottas's?
That's the one I'm just trying to remember.
I've got it here.
Go on.
George Russell is the type of guy who overtakes in damp conditions at the end of a main straight in Imola. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
George Russell, what a dickhead.
Oops.
Are you still bitter about that?
Don't know. What's your problem? What's he done to you?
Just another race, isn't it? Another race. Another risky undertake on the inside. And again.
I tell you what, we won't overtake. We won't overtake, Tone. We won't overtake. We'll just all follow.
Yeah,
in a line like ski electric. Yeah. What a dick you are.
Gotta do it fairly.
What was unfair?
What was unfair?
Just flying up the inside.
What? When it went green?
I called it.
I meant earlier, the one earlier on.
Oh, where they collided. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. He just turned into me. That's what he said. Absolute idiot. It's just pissing me off now. Every race is just pissing me off.
I've got a feeling that on the next episode you're going to be sat there wearing like full on Red Bull. You're just going to look like Christian Horner's just spaffed all over you. You're going to have like the Red Bull hat, the jersey, the t-shirt, and everything.
I apologise for the listeners that I've had to just envisage that image. Don't worry, guys. I will not be looking like that at all. And I'm currently dressed all in black with a Mercedes hat on. So, yes, I am two-faced and I contradicted myself. So, continue.
I'm upset with the black Mercedes hat, by the way, as well. Seeing as though you made us all aware, I've just bought Lewis Hamilton's new hat, the luminous yellow one. You met us all on Saturday and you was wearing it then, just to kind of just dig it at me and Mark a little bit more. And then when it comes to the podcast, like, yeah, I'm not going to wear that.
I'm going to buy him a George Russell hat, I think, because I think secretly he's...
do you think it's a crush?
Yeah, I do. I think it is a crush. I hate George Russell. Russell is a naughty boy. Russell is very mean.
Well, you said about Norris as well. Do you want a little bit of like...
Menage a trois?
Yeah, a little bit of three-way action kind of thing going on. Or...
You want to be the meat in the Formula One driver's sandwich?
Cool.
I'm not listening to this conversation at all, but and I'm really glad about that. But next week it's it's Hungary next week. It's the last race before the break. I think we should do something special. I think we should do something special to really finish off the first half of the season, like a big quiz or I don't know. I think we should do something.
Why don't we have two guests on? Why don't we try and get two guests on? And have
I'm game for that. Let's get a couple of guests on. We'll have like a mega quiz.
Yeah. A mid-season and quiz about the season that's gone. Like, questions about what's just happened in the first part of the season.
A mid-season bonanza.
Yeah.
Or is that what we're going to call it? The mid-season bonanza? Maybe because I really can't pronounce it.
Bonanza. Yeah.
Bonanza.
Absolutely.
All the questions are going to be about George Russell and Lando Norris.
And 3 or 4 about Ayrton Senna, just so that we know that Tony won't get them.
He's got 3 weeks shut down to read the book.
Oh yeah. We've also got to produce content. We'll have to.
Oh no, we'll still be doing that. We'll do a couple. We'll do another couple of special podcasts like we did last time. When we'll just do like we'll talk about other stuff. We'll talk about some interesting stories or a bit more of who we are and stuff like that, and bore the listeners as much more as we can.
We need also a contingency when I'm possibly not here for a race. I mean, I can try and do Zoom from America, but obviously I won't have really watched the race much. But we can sort that out another day.
We'll sort that out.
That's all stuff we can discuss offline. Yeah. We don't want the listeners sitting there thinking, fucking hell, we're listening to a team meeting now. I want to hear about the F1.
Let's get on with
you know, as Tony shot himself, why was Tony late this week? But instead they're all saying, "Oh, what should we discuss on the next week's podcast?" Like, I don't really give a shit. I don't care.
Let's get on with quali. Let's go for it. Let's get into the content. Come on, James, drive, go.
Okay, right. So,
Drive, James, drive.
Fucking driving you nuts at the moment, mate. Right. So all I've got so far really is Mercedes tried some new rear wings. It was a slightly wavy one. And I think they did it on Hamilton's car and kept Russell with the straight one. And Hamilton just turned around and went, "I'm not really sure why I'm 1.7 seconds slower." So they got rid of it. Like, yep, another one that we didn't work. Not happy with it. Goodbye. But they've changed the I don't know what you call them, the holes in the front nose, haven't they? They've made them bigger.
Right.
Well, just to get a bit more air intake and stuff like that, I'm assuming. But yeah, quali.
Yeah.
There wasn't. Yeah, there wasn't really anything in it. The only thing I've got, and Tony, you might be quite surprised with this, or maybe a little bit pleased as well, because I know how you feel about Ferrari and the lack of strategy and tacticians and stuff like that. They've played it really well.
Is that correct though, James? Is it fair? Is it fair to tow somebody to win quali? Is that fair?
Why not? Wouldn't you do it?
Kind of defeats the. I don't know. I think it defeats the purpose of quality. Like, I just think you're gaining an unfair advantage from using another car.
Lance had nothing to lose, and he played his part well. I kind of get what you're saying. Is it in the fair play? But like you say, why wouldn't you use every tool that you've got? And
I suppose on the flip side as well. Sorry, go on, mate.
I was just going to say it worked. There were 3/10 up. So
it went. Yeah.
Sportsmanship wise, but every team would do it, wouldn't they? Every team would do it.
Exactly. Yeah, they'd all do it. And on the flip side as well, when you think about it, if he hadn't have come out, or he only went out and just did one lap, just because that's all he needed to do, and then stayed in to save his tyres, I suppose you could then turn around and say it's a bit unfair that, because it means he's got a lot more fresh tyres for the next day and stuff like that. It's just how you want to play it. But it was an interesting little thing that they knew that, he was going to have issues. He was going to be at the back of the pack and stuff like that. So there was like, well, you know what? Let's utilise him. Let's get him out there, get Leclerc that turn, just get him out in the front.
They did well in qualifying, like you say, organising that tour. Sainz did a great job. They still went to shit in the race, didn't they?
True, Mark. Very true.
Yeah,
it means nothing.
Yeah, but I was surprised. Merck were 1.3 seconds off in Q1. That's a hell of a gap.
In Q1,
yeah, I was worried about that. I was sitting there kind of worrying a little bit, thinking, what's going on there? They seemed a lot faster the other week, and then this, yeah.
You've got to kind of play it tactically, haven't you?
Well, that's what they did, and you just said that was wrong.
It's unfair, yeah. So someone used a bit of tactics. Oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
No, I mean Merck. I thought you were talking about Merck.
Right, go on. What do you mean?
All you've got to do is just beat the last 5. That's all you've got to really do.
Oh shit! Is that what they've been going wrong every week? They've been trying to build this car and all this kind of stuff. Like, we've got to make, let's change the downforce. That might speed it up, and let's do this. That might make us better. And then someone just went, "Hey, guys! All we need to do is be faster than them, and we'll win."
And then you make it into Q2.
They've got a heavy car.
This is more the conversation you have with Latifi. Hey, all you need to do is not crash.
All you got to do.
And you're fine. Just don't hit the walls. And you'll be great.
He still doesn't listen, though. I mean, to be fair, he didn't crash this week. He did all right.
Can you imagine his radio when he crashed? What did we say, Nicholas? Don't hit the walls. What did you do? Hit the walls.
I'm very sorry.
What have you learned? I won't hit the walls. Go to the naughty step now, Nicholas.
Yeah. Try again next week, son. Try again next week. You nearly did it. Ever so close. Yeah, Mac's car is very heavy. It's not fast in a straight line. It's heavy. It's not very aerodynamically slippy, is it? I just think again, what can you say about them? What can you say?
Well, I think what George Russell said was interesting when he turned around and he went, all the issues that I'm having this year are just going to pay dividends when it comes to next season. He was like, well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, like Latifi, all you've got to do is finish the race.
Yeah, well, the one thing that Mac have got is it's reliable. That's the one saving grace at the minute.
That's what I was about to say, and it's one of the things I want to cover a little bit later on as well. Mm-hmm. It's just their reliability that's helping them.
Yeah.
Because, Red Bull, Ferrari, they're more Ferrari, obviously, they're really going to be getting the grid penalties now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I want to use the term they've burnt through their engines. and they literally have. They literally have.
Yeah.
I mean, Sainz must have been panicking on bloody Sunday when they said, "Okay, Sainz, so we're gonna go to Plan D." And he's like, "Oh fuck, that's only one away."
Yeah. Do you think he's got a little booklet in his car when they say that with all the plans on, like, B explode? Oh no, we've got another page. C, D.
That's why Leclerc crashed. He's driving along, goes, "Okay, we're gonna go to Plan B." And he goes, "Okay, one, A, B, okay." Oh shit.
I mean, we're not on the race yet, but we have called this about Charles Leclerc. We have said this all season.
He's got a crash in.
Don't like to big ourselves up, guys, but all season, each one of us have said he's not a world champion because he can't do it all year.
The other thing we always say, and we've got to make it as our next mug, because we have got a bit of a catchphrase going, and I've only just realised it as well. He's got a crash in him. So you've got Martin Brundle going around the outside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nicholas and Latifi going, "Oops, I did it again." And we've got, he's got a crash in him.
Stroll's is one more time. Yeah, I think, we've said this. I mean, fair play. I know he held from Sainz, but his quality lap was great. Over one lap, he's definitely, the kid is up there. But over a race weekend, he can do it. Over a season, I don't think he's champion. It's like a footballer or a rugby player. Like, I don't know. Who should we say? Someone that's absolutely class on his day, yet for 10 games, he's pants. And for one game, he'll be absolute best player on the park. Leclerc is that guy. For one race weekend, he can wipe the floor with them all. But 6 or 7 of us probably crashes.
Well, he said it in his interview, didn't he? If I've lost points, so many points here, and I've lost so many points there. So if we lose the championship by this point, it's my fault. And everyone was like, "Oh, he's being very hard on himself." I don't think he is. I think he's saying it as it. I think when are we going to get to the point?
What he needs to do. I'm with most about that little interview as well, because it's, there's a lot of awareness being brought up about it, stuff like that, and it's probably a good thing to bring up on here as well. The whole Andy's Man Club and all that. It's good to talk, and you don't often hear people like sportsmen and stuff like that actually sitting there and going, "Yeah, there's some serious issues out there and stuff like that." And it's nice. It's probably the wrong word to use to say it's nice to hear him saying it, but it is. He's not keeping it to himself. He's not holding it in and bottling it up and making it worse or anything. He's actually coming out and saying, there's something playing, and I've just got to sort it out. There was a little part of me at first. I'm not going to lie as well, just thinking, have you been asked? to say when he first started talking and he wasn't saying, "Oh no, it was my mistake." The first thing I thought was on the radio just after the crash, you were saying the fucking throttle again.
Yeah.
So my first thoughts was, have Ferrari just asked you to go out there and say that it was your mistake, so they're not broadcasting to everyone. Yeah, we've still got issues with the throttle not coming back. But then when he started getting more into it and getting into more detail, it was like, yeah, okay, he has got some demons. There is something playing on his mind, and he just needs to clear it up. But you know what? He's out there. He's talking. That's the hardest bit. So, well played to the guy.
Well, yeah.
You there.
Yeah,
that was a
He's going
very
to be one of
deep
these.
little.
it was.
Will he ever get over it? Will he ever get over these things? I don't know.
No.
I don't know if he will.
I mean, the
I don't
sports
know.
It's not
psychologist.
something you really get over. It's something you more learn how to live with and how to deal with it, how to resolve it. So it's a tricky one. It's always there. It's always like that little niggling voice in the back of your head, and it's never going to go. But yeah, you just become stronger with it.
That leads me into kind of one of my questions I've got on Ian. I heard it on another podcast. Who is most under pressure, driver-wise, this season?
For Ferrari or for the whole season?
In the whole season.
I mean, we did say Ricciardo, but
I was going to say there's a couple.
Out of everybody, though,
I think.
Well, if you'd have asked us a couple of weeks ago, I'd have been saying Schumacher.
Yep.
Because obviously big boots to fill and everything. But yeah, Ricciardo.
Gasly. He's currently under a bit of pressure because he's not performing. I would say Leclerc because I think he's blown Ferrari's chance at a title championship.
I think both of them from Ferrari. Leclerc, obviously, like you've just said, but you know, Sainz the other week. You know, obviously he got his new contract sorted out, and then he pretty much ballsed up every single race afterwards until he broke his duck the other week.
Lewis?
No.
Ocon?
No, Lewis has been out there long enough to know you have days like this, and he'll know what's going on behind the scenes with Mercedes and stuff like that. Same as all the other drivers with their team. So which is one of the reasons why they extend their contracts without us knowing what's going on, because they get the inside knowledge. So he'll already know what next year's car's like and what the tests are going like and stuff like that. So yeah, I was going to say the only people I don't think are feeling any pressure really is Max and the two Mercedes drivers. They're the only ones for definite I don't think are really dealing with much pressure.
Alonso, I don't think he's dealing with much pressure.
Yeah, he's getting really confident. His last couple of races have been brilliant.
Yeah.
I think
he's really putting up a fight.
I think it's Leclerc. I think he's the most under pressure, and I think he's not handling it great at the minute. But
his time will come, though.
His time will come, but I just think his team are not really giving him a good foundation.
I think the only reason I think his time will come is because he's a very similar driver to Max. That they both drive to a similar style. They're both a bit ballsy. They're both aggressive. The only thing is Max has just got the edge. He's got
winner.
that a little bit more.
I think winner. I don't really like to say this. I think Max is in a totally different league to Charles Leclerc. I don't. Again, when we were talking about tiers of drivers the other week, and we were saying who would you put in your Premier League and who would you put in your Division 1? I think Leclerc is more of a mid-table to bottom of the table driver, and Max is like Man City, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Him and Lewis are the big two. Alonso's up there just behind them. I don't think Leclerc even breaks the top 4 or 5 for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Mark. And I think to bring it back to to finish this little conversation off and bring it back full circle, he's got a crash in him. And he keeps doing it. And this race was another example, just like Azerbaijan. No, there's no pressure in the race, and he just bottles it. He can't keep doing that. You can't. You're remembered for times, aren't you? For actual times in races, like great moments make you or break you. Like in football, doesn't matter how you've played through the tournament. If you lose on penalties, you lost the title on penalties. Doesn't matter how good a driver you are. Who won last year? Well, Max Verstappen won the World Championship last year, didn't he? All that was everything that happened. It's not really remembered. And I think this is the same with Leclerc. He might be an all right, okay driver, but keeps making these mistakes. I mean, I just don't think, I don't think he's the one. I don't think he's the one.
James Hunt was called Hunt the Shunt, wasn't he? Because James Hunt used to he was always in a crash with somebody. Leclerc is a very clean racer, but he's got, and maybe he's pushing the car too much, but it seems that when he's pushing the car, like they all are, he just goes over that line. And to be a top driver, I think he does it too much.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think, he has crashes with himself. It's not like he goes into other drivers. He crashes on his own. Like, he was in control of that race. Max had gone in, I know, and then obviously he was like, Leclerc was pushing to kind of get that gap back, and Leclerc had been in, and Max was out, and he was pushing to make sure he stayed ahead. But you can't make mistakes like that if you want to be world champion.
True.
You just can't.
True. I agree.
I get what you both say, and I do agree, but I don't know. Maybe give him another season. Let him get out of his head. Get himself sorted out, and you never know. Let's see what he's like then. But I think you're probably right. He is more that mid-tier kind of driver, but it's for him to show us.
He's not a young driver anymore. Like, you can, when you're a rookie, year 2, year 3, you expect these mistakes. He's an experienced driver now. He shouldn't be making it. But like you say, he might naturally grow out of it and get better in the next few seasons. But Ferrari are renowned for making a good car one year and then the dog one for about 5 or 6. So
this is very true. Oh, that was a very deep conversation we just had.
Very deep.
Very deep. I apologise to all the listeners. Don't worry. When we come back in the second half shortly, we will have some off-topic stuff. Maybe Tony will shit himself, or there's guaranteed to be some kind of rant from Tony, either about Norris or Russell, or basically anyone who winds him up, anyone who makes him angry. So basically anyone who's got a pulse.
I'm really looking forward to the prediction part of the show this week. Aren't you, Tony? I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk about predictions anymore. I think it was a stupid idea, guys, and we don't. Yeah, we don't need to do a story.
I've got a big strategy. I can't wait. I'm gonna love this pick this week. I love it.
Excellent.
Has Adam done a really good selection for you this time, has he? Yeah. You're looking over at now. Hi, Adam, if you're there.
Yeah, apparently he couldn't come on this week. That's because he's chained up next to Tony. Oh, I'm not telling you. No. Let me out.
He only releases the gag when he's got his predictions and he's tied up again. Back in the basement you go, Adam. Come on.
I will
Bring
get
up-
7 points. I will get 7. I'll get a goal. I want a golden point.
Okay.
But I might never
So-
get it because Russell's driving. But hey ho, yeah, just carry on. Don't mind me.
Why be like that? Why are you so angry, Tony? Why? Who hurt you?
I need to take a
Right,
CBD
so-
from it. Come on, let's take a break.
So, end of the qualifying results. So, how it actually ended up for us is Leclerc got pole, Max was in second, Perez in third, Hamilton fourth, Russell in sixth. So, the two Mercedes were split up by Norris, who got himself into fifth, Alonso seventh, Yuki Tsunoda eighth, Sainz in ninth, Kevin Magnussen 10th, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Can I just say that was Ferrari's first pole at the Paul Ricard since 1990. It's a long time ago.
Wow.
Stat thrown in there. Have some of that.
Yeah, Tony's bombshell just dropped.
Yeah.
No, and on that bombshell, to steal another really good phrase, I'll speak to you shortly in part 2.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
This meeting is being recorded.
And we're back, and Tony is still waving after about 15 minutes of us sitting there waiting for Mark to get it downloaded and get the new codes to us. Part 2 of episode 13. Right, we've had the deep discussion. I'm just going to say it just to lighten the mood a little bit. Penis, boobs, stuff like that. There we go.
There we go.
A little bit more immature now, guys.
Back to normal.
There we go. Tony, how angry are you right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
About a 3,
George Russell. Lando Norris.
Yeah.
7, 8, 8,
Domino's takeaways late.
10,
You shit at tennis.
I was
15.
going to say the Domino's one. Beth's already on her way there now. It was only a joke. It was just a joke.
Stop.
Put the guy down.
Don't make me
I bet.
call her.
So, let's get to the race then.
Yep.
Luckily, the race was a lot more entertaining than the bloody qualifying was, which is great.
Parts of it was. Not all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Well, no, I'm going to go back to what I said a couple of weeks ago about last season and this season. Last season there was that much going on. It's just set the standards and the expectations up there, and this season it's just what you'd get in any other standard season. But we're just like, oh, it's boring.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
But no, there was some interesting calls. There was some strange calls, stuff like that. But it was a decent race. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was, to be fair.
As long as you wasn't a Leclerc fan.
Or a general Ferrari fan. Tony.
Everybody's a fan of Ferrari.
Are they?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
I don't get it. I don't get it. It says him who supports Man United, the most popular football team in the world. I don't get it.
Do you hear the doubt? Do you hear the doubt in his voice, viewers? Do you hear it?
Well, no, because I agree. I absolutely agree. I know that Ferrari is like the team that every driver wants to go to, but that's because of who Ferrari are. They've been going for that bloody long, and everything else. Like, you know, it's like what you just said about Man U. Every kid grows up wanting to be a Man U player, but you know they might end up playing at Spurs or Newcastle or something like that. Every kid who wants to be an F1 driver wants to drive for Ferrari, but if you're Nicholas Latifi, it's never going to happen.
Unless his dad buys the team.
You know what? It's going to be like shock turnaround, and next season or something, he's going to be the driver.
Yeah.
And he's just going to absolutely romp it. And we're going to be sitting there going, I can't believe we said all that shit about him every week. I'm really sorry. But he needs to go.
I won't put my house on it, but I can't see that.
Well, I won't.
I'd bet Tony's house on it. I'd definitely bet Tony's house on it.
What if he gets a podium? Do you think he'll ever get a podium?
Stranger things have happened, but no.
If he, the only way I could see it happening is
I knew this would happen.
He clips one person ever so slightly, and it causes a chain reaction that takes out the other 19 drivers. And it'd be the worst race because you'd then have to sit there and watch him drive around for 69 more laps, hoping to God that he doesn't fuck it up. But then it's Nicholas Latifi, so
he probably will.
It'd get to the 69th lap and then he'd crash into himself.
No, he'd have 68 to go and crash.
I'm really sorry. If there's anyone who listens to this who is in some weird way is fucking related to Latifi, I know you're agreeing with us right now. You're actually sitting there going, "Yeah, he's right."
We're only messing.
If you're related to Latifi, please comment down below. Please.
We're fans, really. We are fans, really.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, eventful first lap. Really good start. Well, not a good start. I thought McLaren had a really shit start. I don't know what it was. I don't know if the reactions was off or what. They just seemed slow, and they lost a few. I think Norris lost about 2 or 3 spaces, pretty much straight off. I've actually put in my notes. McLaren shit start. Aston Martin fight straight away, and then Ocon taking out Yuki.
Yeah.
And getting a 5-second penalty. All that was in like the first lap, and not even the first lap. Probably I think it was like the first sector. But
Perez had a bad start. Obviously, Lewis got him. Lewis had a great start, really good start. But Perez had a pretty poor start and a pretty poor race, really, considering he was in the sister Red Bull.
What do you think? There's something going on with the car?
Yeah, it's probably all the old parts.
I was going to kind of touch on it a little bit later on when we get to the virtual safety car, and Tony will have his little rant about Russell again. But yeah, he doesn't seem like he's. Ever since Horner turned around, I went, "Oh yeah, he's in contention now, so we're just going to let him race." All of a sudden, Perez's car just seems.
Maybe this is the conspiracy theorist in me, but a driver has 3 engines a year now, or is it 4? Is it 3 new engines or 4 new engines? Anyway, say it's 3. I wouldn't be surprised if Red Bull are pulling a stunt where Max Verstappen gets 6 new engines a season and Sergio Perez gets all the other used ones, and that's the difference. Because how has he
You
gone?
can have one that you started with, he's getting the other 5.
Yeah, like how has he gone from being in contention to the last couple of races being absolutely nowhere? His pace was awful, like seriously awful. Like Lewis Hamilton was 6 seconds behind Leclerc and Verstappen on lap 17. He was losing so much time, and Perez couldn't even keep up with Lewis.
Well, at one point he was closing in on Russell, and he was within the DRS, and it was looking like he was going to have him, and then all of a sudden it dropped back, and he went out of the second bracket. And the first thing I thought was, he's just harvesting. Is building his battery up, and then he's going to go for it. He's going to go into overtake mode and just fly by. And then another lap went by, and he was still that second down. I was like, he's not harvesting. He's just lost the pace. And we might as well touch on it now anyway, because we're talking about Perez. Let's talk about him falling asleep during the virtual safety car kind of thing. The George Russell catching him out, because George Russell is that kind of guy. I know Tony says it's unfair, but I thought it was brilliant because I was watching it, and Russell was pulling off, and me and Charlie was watching it, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden I went, but Perez's tyres are a bit shoddy. So Russell's going to be faster in the acceleration. So as soon as that car ends, the VSC ends, and they can start up again, technically Russell should get a quicker start. And I just had that in my head. And then, yeah, he just flew by. And he didn't just fly by. I mean, it was convincing. He just took it.
They were both playing games. Like, because a massive gap, like obviously virtual safety car is meant to be, you get a set time.
40% of your speed up, yeah.
Yeah, again, like a scale electric track, the gap maintains, which let's be honest, I don't think I've ever seen the gap maintain in a VSC at all. Because either some driver goes too fast or some goes slow. And George was backing off. Then Perez would like go fast and then slow down. George backed off, got close. And you knew he was doing something, and you knew all of a sudden he backed off. And I think Perez thought, God, he's miles away. And then George absolutely floored it when it hit green. And I think Perez was sleeping. He was like, oh, shit, he's gone. And that was it. It was done. I thought it was very clever by Russell, but it makes a mockery of the VSC because it's for safety. Like, you can't slow down and speed up like that. I don't get it. But fair play to George. He played him, absolutely played him. I know Tony doesn't agree with it. Why? Why don't you?
You touched on it there. It's just, I don't know. How can he? The virtual safety car ends and he immediately passes him. Like, surely he wasn't at speed during the virtual safety car to then immediately pass him. Like, how does that work? Like,
well, it can come down to a lot of things, though. I mean, it can be down to the tyre deg, the reaction of the drivers.
Yeah, that's the big one.
What was it? A couple of years ago, when I can't remember if it was Mercedes, but I can't remember if it was Bottas or Rosberg, and they got this fucking awesome restart on the back of a safety car, and then they showed it from the driver's point of view, and on the steering wheel there was on the display there was that little countdown that went at 3, 2, so they knew exactly when the safety car was going to be in, and it gave him that little bit more time to know exactly what he needed to do and get there. So you're
telling me that Perez wasn't watching that in a GP where there's a podium up risk here. He wasn't watching that, and he wasn't ready to go.
No, I think he was distracted. I think he was maybe doing a setting on the car because they've got to pass a green panel and then they can go. And I think he must have been distracted or doing something because Russell just had the jump on him. It was like you was at traffic lights and you sat there and it goes red, amber, and you go green, and the guy next to you is dicking about with a radio or something. And he's like, and I honestly think he was doing something else and he was like, shit. And Russell had already gone.
Must have been, because I think what you said earlier, Mark, I think that's not fair. You can't roll up. You can't speed up to the point where then it goes green and then you've almost got like a rolling start.
That makes a mockery of the VSC. Like, they've all got a delta to stay to, but they're all playing games. Like you say, they're making it a joke of it, because if a marshal comes on the track, they're all meant to be at the same speed. But if you're slowing down and speeding up, you're not. I
think it's a tricky one when it comes to the virtual safety car, because it's not really a set speed. You're not controlled by an actual safety car. You're not stuck behind that safety car, and you can only go at the same speed that safety car goes at. It's a virtual safety car, and the rule only stipulates you have to reduce your speed by 40%.
Yeah.
If you've got a car that can do 100 miles an hour,
I agree.
You've got a car that can do 90. You tick 40% off. One of them's going to be going at 60, and the other one's going to be going at 50 odd.
Mm.
There's going to be that speed difference and stuff like that. Now, I know the F1 cars haven't got a top speed of 100 miles an hour. It's more than that, obviously, but the math's still the math. It's as long as it's 40% lower, that's it.
I suppose a virtual safety car, it's not deemed unsafe enough for a full safety car. So in that aspect, I suppose you're right in that.
So yeah, I think everything he did was fine. I think it was clean, it was fair, and yeah, like you said, buddy. It's just that Perez wasn't ready. Maybe he was messing with his radio. He was having a drink. I don't know, but
only he'll know.
Oh God.
Only he'll know, won't he? Only Perez will know why he got caught out.
Exactly, and they'll have discussed it in the after race debrief and everything else that they always do. So yeah. What else have we got? So Leclerc tyres was a little bit pants by the end of lap 13.
Yeah,
so I'm starting, and it was tight as well because the position of all the cars, if him or Leclerc went in and pitted, they would have been coming out around P10.
Yeah.
Or later, and it was going to be awful for him. I had Perez struggling behind Lewis Hamilton, but we've already touched on Perez. He pretty much struggled the entire race.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got to get to it anyway. So Leclerc's crash. That's not. I shouldn't use the word. That's when it got interesting. That's when things started happening because you got the Hamilton-Russell pit. Sainz came in and then came out unsafe. I mean, that was... I can't even remember who that was against. He just came flying out and someone had to slam on. And then somebody else nearly came... I think Perez nearly came out unsafe as well, if I remember rightly, but...
Someone's going to get done by... Someone's going to get hit. I swear to God, it's going to happen. It seems to get closer every race. Unsafe release. And somebody... It's going to be lights out and really upsetting for somebody.
It's all since they went automated. Like Ferrari, I mean, that is the closest unsafe release I've seen for a long time. Ferrari you could already see what was coming. Couldn't you? Ferrari didn't look. You could already see what was coming. And I can't remember who had to slam on, but they really had to slam on.
But the scary thing is...
You know it's close when you're sitting in your living room watching it, and straight away... You go and slam on your brakes.
Yeah.
Literally sitting in the passenger seat, somebody else is driving, and you're tapping the imaginary brake that's there, thinking you should be stopping now.
It's only going to be a matter of time until somebody will hit somebody hard, and you know what'll happen? They'll hit a mechanic or they'll hit somebody.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's happened, hasn't it? It was a couple of years ago. I'm just trying to remember now. The mechanic's leg.
Ferrari? Was it the Ferrari mechanic got ran over?
I think so, yeah.
His foot ankle got ran over.
Yeah.
It was only a couple of years back.
I hate to say this, but I'm envisaging like full-on 10-pin bowling style, like fucking let the bodies hit the floor type shit, like woo, like Grand Theft Auto, like on the footpath, like bang, 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 people flying. That's what I'm envisaging.
I just think two cars will crash, and like you say, whether debris or something will hit mechanics. Yeah, it's coming because there seems to be definitely a lot more. But I mean, Ferrari again. Why did they pick Sainz later on? It was in pretty much podium position. The podium position, they pit him on lap 43, and then they had the Alpines and the McLarens to pass. It was never going to catch up to Mac.
It was before that. It was on lap 41. He'd just overtaken Perez, and as he's overtaken, he was going box.
That was stupid.
He's going, no, I'm not. He went, what are you on about? Box. He went, I've just took him.
Not now. I'm not pitting now. Yeah. What a stupid call. Yeah.
It makes you wonder, are the guys on the pit wall are they watching? Are they paying attention to what's going on? I mean, it won't have been a delayed radio. We know it's not a delayed radio because of how Sainz reacted. Because he turned up. I've done him. I've overtook him. I've got to stay out. He wants to get. Granted, it wouldn't have mattered. He wouldn't have got enough of a lead on Perez to be able to justify a pit stop. There's no way, because I think about 24, 25 seconds you need in France for the pit stop if you want to be able to really come out in the same position you went in on.
And he had the 5-second penalty to kind of contend with because he had to then get a 5-second gap. So
for the unsafe release,
but just left him a lot of work to do when, was it like, straight call.
Right decision, Mark, yes or no?
What, bring him in?
Bring him in, yes or no?
Depends. The Ferraris were eating the tyres up quite, like you just said with Leclerc. So would his tyres?
Awkward, isn't it? I mean,
would the tyres have gone off? Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. He finished 5th, and he started at the back. So you just snap their hands off before the race.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. He came up
right decision,
and he still finished 5th.
Yeah.
There was a part of me, and it's in my notes as well, saying lap 43. There's 10 laps left. Was it the right choice bringing him in? And you're probably right. You know what? It was still a really good result for him. But you know what? I know there's a lot of if, buts, and maybes, and hindsight's a wonderful thing and stuff like that. But he could have been looking at a podium. But really, for Ferrari, after what happened with Leclerc, they just needed to get him to finish.
Yeah.
Just bring home the points. Whatever points you can get, just bring them home, mate. Don't worry about going out there and trying to get more. Just get what you can get safely.
I agree. I think at the time I was screaming at the telly, but after the fact, listening to is it Bonetti?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bonetti.
It was under their control, and I think with a 5-second penalty, I think they made the right call because they would have been chased. They would have been hanging on, wouldn't they?
They probably would, yeah. Like you say, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Would they have got Russell's fared? You just don't know. But like I say, they've started at the back. They finished 5th. Yeah, they had to do what they did. Like I say, Leclerc probably made the decision for him as well, doing what he did.
Yeah. The only other thing I've got from the race, really, after all of that, is for one, still a Red Bull driver, but not the usual one, moaning Perez. Every single lap. After Russell had took him, he's on the radio. He went off there. He went off here.
Yeah.
He went off there.
Yeah.
Keep your head down and just fucking get on with it.
Yeah, that was pathetic, wasn't it? Oh, he went off. Tell the FIA went off on that corner. We don't need to hear that.
So what difference? Yeah.
The only thing I've got
really about, and I only just remember when we just say, get your head down, just get on with it. Toto Wolff, when Russell was going on in lap 45, going on about Perez, he's doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
And then Toto just came on the radio and went, look,
get your head down, George. You can do it.
You can do it now. You just need more power. And he knew for a fact, mate, you're faster than him. Just do it.
Just get on with it.
Get your head down. You'll get him in 2 or 3 laps. And the guy did.
Yeah.
And he did it very well because, George was that kind of guy.
Toto's on the fucking radio.
Do it now. Get to the chocolate.
I'm sorry, Lewis. We've let you down.
Do the target on everybody. Yeah. He's going to be looking back on that last episode of Drive to Survive now going, I really wish I'd never fucking said that.
Yeah, he really is.
I meant that big fucking thing, and then we've just been mediocre this season. It's like, yeah. Don't do that next year, Toto.
I've got the Aston Martins fighting on the last few corners. That was
nearly took each other out on the last bit.
Yeah.
I think it was
close. Yeah. It was very close.
makes you wonder, should they really let them race, or should it just be back off, guys? But you know, that's racing at the end of the day. If they didn't, like you said earlier, what should we do? Just let them all just fucking drive around the circuit and not overtaking everything? It's just
exactly. Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, final results was Max winning. Sorry, Hamilton and Russell, which is the first Mercedes podium for this year, which is a weird thing to say.
Yep.
Perez 4th, Sainz 5th, Alonso 6th, Norris 7th, Ocon 8th, Ricciardo 9th, Stroll 10th, and it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Obviously, Latifi, Magnussen, Leclerc, and Tsunoda, they didn't finish. So for the drivers, Max has got one hell of a lead now. He's got 233 points.
With 10 races left.
Yeah, Leclerc's in second with 170. Perez with 163. Sainz with 144. Russell's 143. He's only 1 point behind a Ferrari driver now. Hamilton 127. Norris on 70. Ocon 56. Bottas 46. Alonso 37. Only did the top 10. Constructors wise, Red Bull's done it pretty much. You'd think. I mean, 396 points. Ferrari's on 314. I am starting to think though. I don't think they'll get constructor, but I think they might come second. Mercedes in the constructor, because they're on 270, and like we've already said a few times now, the Ferrari are going to struggle.
Yeah,
you know,
they are.
They're running out of engines. There's going to be grid penalties left, right, and centre for them towards the end of the season. So it might. That's where Mercedes' reliability may come in, because you know Russell's only once not finished in the top 5, and that was because he crashed. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for Mercedes. I think they could get a second if they play it well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Who will finish fourth? Who will finish fourth? Alpine or McLaren?
I was going to say there's only 4 points between it for them two. There's Alpine on 93 and there's McLaren on 89. There's very little between them.
I think that's going to be tit for tat all season. Them two, I think they're going to swap.
Yeah,
depending on Ocon and Ricciardo, probably how they do. Should we quickly talk about our predictions, James?
Well, that's the usual deal, isn't it? We do the predictions, then we do a quiz,
and
we go to the predictions. But I don't think we need to do predictions. I think it's a stupid thing.
Yeah,
it was the worst idea, and I think it was one of Tony's, in fairness, as well.
Yeah, probably was, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it as much as it's going to fucking hurt me. Okay, so I had Leclerc to win, Hamilton second, and Max in third. I had 18 points, and all I got out of it was Hamilton coming second. So I got 2 points, put me into 20 points. Mark, you had Max to win.
Yeah.
You had Leclerc second, and you had Russell third.
Yeah.
So you got 3 points for Max, 1 for Russell, and you had 18 points. That gives you 22 points. Tony, prick. You had Max to win. You had Hamilton second.
Yeah, boy.
So you got 5 points in total. You had 17, so you're also on 22. So you and Mark are now joint top. All I'm going to say, Tony, is if I have to do a shoey, can I please drink it out of that stupid fucking Yeezy thing that you wear?
Fair play, well done. On the next podcast, you need to show the visual YouTube watchers what they look like. Don't do it now. Do it on the next podcast.
We'll put it on the social, but we'll use that little meme of that. What are those? Right. What do you reckon then, boys? Time for a quiz?
Quick quiz, then we'll talk about Hungary, yeah?
Yeah, right. So, standard kind of thing, 6 questions. The first 3 I've based around 300 races, because obviously, like we said earlier, Lewis Hamilton has hit a milestone, 300 races in his career. So it's going to be based around that, and then the other 3 will be based around the Hungarian Budapest Grand Prix. So
Okay.
this one is fastest finger first. So on his 300th race, Lewis Hamilton finished in second. Where did he finish on his first race? Bing, 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 bing.
Mark.
Go
I'm gonna say so. His debut was for McLaren. It was at Australia. I think he was third. I'm torn between 2.
He was third. Look how happy he is. Yeah, 1 point to Mark already. Right. How do I want to do this one? You know what? We'll do fastest first.
Okay.
And if you get it wrong, the other person can go for it. So Hamilton is only the 6th driver to achieve this. Name one of the other 5 drivers.
Mark.
Go on.
Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, you had Michael Schumacher, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso, Rubens Barrichello, and Jenson Button.
Jenson's in there, really?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Question 3. I'm going to go with closest win, so you both can get a guess on this. So, Tony, this is your chance to pick back. So, out of these 5, Kimi Raikkonen has the most races under his belt. But how many did he do before he retired? Tony, I'll let you go first. Now, I'll give you a clue. It's more than 300.
So how many races?
How many races did Kimi Raikkonen have in total?
I'm going to go with 398.
Okay, now I'm going to need a calculator, aren't I? Mark?
I'm going to say 340.
Ooh, I don't need my calculator.
Mark's correct.
Mark is correct. Kimi Raikkonen had 349 races in total before he retired. All right. 3 questions around about Hungary and Budapest.
Okay.
So, it's known for being one of the harder ones for overtaking in Hungary. And there's only 2 drivers out of the previous 35 winners that have ever actually won it outside from the front 2. Okay?
Yeah.
But one of them is Jenson Button, who started in 14th place. Now, there's a bonus point in this as well.
Okay.
So you get 1 point if you can tell me who the other driver was to have won the Hungarian Grand Prix from outside of position 1 or 2. And you get an extra point if you can tell me what position they was in.
Mark, Lewis Hamilton.
No, fuck off. He didn't start. He did not say start. He did not say start.
I might be wrong.
I didn't know I had to say start, but he was wrong anyway, Tony, so...
I was wrong.
I don't even know what he said.
Fuck's sake.
Right, so there's only 2 drivers in the last 35 years that have won the Hungarian Grand Prix who didn't start in positions 1 or 2. Jenson Button was one of them who started in 14th. Who was the other one? And what position did they start from for an extra point?
So what did Mark say?
I said Lewis.
Yeah.
Hungarian.
The Hungarian Grand Prix. Yeah.
Ocon?
Is that your final answer?
Sebastian Ocon.
Esteban.
Well done, you.
It was Nigel Mansell.
Oh.
And he came in there from position 12th. in 1989?
Good question.
So in the exact same race, Mansell was 2 seconds faster in every lap, and he finished with a 25-second lead from the person who finished second.
Flipping heck.
Fastest finger first. Who was it who finished second?
Mark. Was it Alan Prost?
Ayrton Senna. Is it?
Was it Ayrton Senna?
Yeah.
Was it? He got one.
Yes. I win the quiz. I win the quiz automatically. I win the quiz.
Hallelujah. You know, I was going to say Ayrton Senna, and I thought this will be a trick to get him. And
Fuck it.
Was.
Fuck the quiz. Sorry.
As soon as you shouted Mark, I thought, right, he knows what this is.
Damn it.
Right. Last one. We already know the winner is going to be of the quiz, unfortunately, as always.
Mate, all the real listeners know me.
Mate,
I win the quiz.
You know what? This one's for pride. Fastest finger first. So obviously this is all about Budapest and the Hungarian Grand Prix. So where did George Ezra peak in the charts with his single Budapest?
Tony.
Go on.
1.
Mark?
I think it was number 3.
Oh shit! Yeah, number 3.
What the fuck?
Look, when I was writing the quiz, I just had Budapest constantly playing in my head. And I thought, you know what, stop it. I'm going to have a bit of a giggle with that.
Yeah. So that was,
in
the Ayrton Senna one, that was nearly a wipeout, wasn't it? Oh, well, never mind.
4 points to Mark, 1 point to Tony, but he also gets pride because he finally got a question about Ayrton Senna right.
Yes, well done,
fans.
Well done. You're the real winner.
The hoodoo's over now, guys, all right? The hoodoo's over.
Yeah. So, right. Hungary next.
Yep.
On the 29th to the 31st of July. 70 laps. It's around about 4.4 kilometres in length. Last year, Ocon won it. Hamilton came second and Sainz came third. Verstappen came 8th, if I remember rightly. I can't remember what happened there.
No,
Honestly, I can't remember what had happened there. I don't know if he had some issues or what. But
big crash at the start.
Is that what it was?
I can't remember.
Big crash at the start. No. Shuffled the pack. And Esteban Ocon then went on to win.
Okay. Right, quickly then, guys. What's your predictions?
Well, you're first, James. You're the host.
That's right, host first. Yeah. So, Max for the win.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Hamilton for second.
Ooh, it is a Hamilton track.
And I'm thinking Sainz for third. I've got nothing else to lose. So.
Well, no. So I'm going Verstappen to win, Leclerc second, and Hamilton third.
Interesting.
Tony?
TD?
What was yours, James?
Max, Hamilton, and Sainz.
Sainz. Max, Ham, Sainz. So nobody's got Leclerc. Leclerc second.
Max got Leclerc for second.
I've got Leclerc second.
Well, I'm going to go Leclerc.
To win, yeah.
To win.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go.
You're going to have to hurry, mate. You're going to have to hurry.
Ham.
That was a really bad version of Countdown.
Hamilton.
And then I'm going to go Sainz.
Interesting. No Red Bull in the top 3.
One can only dream.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, guys, I think we've covered it, haven't we?
We have. Just in time.
So, as always, guys, leave us a like, a subscribe, follow us on all the socials. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look for Straight to the Apex. Another massive shout out to Andy and the guys at CookieCast. And yeah, as always, look forward to every episode, and you can find us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Cloud, I think it's called.
Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everything.
Yeah, apart from Pornhub.
Yeah, we're not on there yet. No. Tony's still trying. He's still trying.
And if you could see the calluses on his hands, you'd see how determined he was.
I've searched. It's not there. I'm on. No, I won't say what I'm on now. Yeah, I don't want to give away anything.
But no, other than that, guys, as you know, I'll speak to you all soon.
See you later.
Peace out, A-Town.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Big thank you to James, Tony and Mark for bringing us all the glorious Formula One news, reviews and everything in between. You can let these boys know how much you love their podcast by like, share, subscribe and comment. Drop them reviews. And if you're in the mood, you can jump over to the website. It's thecookiecast.com. There we've got social media links and email. You can drop us a line and let us know how you're getting on. There we go. That's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.